Hey guys, good morning. Hello, beautiful creators. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, here helping you raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Wanted to talk to you today about discernment. There's a lot going on in the world today, and it is so difficult to know what is true and what is not. And it seems that no matter what side you're on, somebody's always exaggerating things, and a lot of fear mongering, it seems, going on. And so it's really difficult to know what who to believe. And what we have to do is start to filter the information or the decisions or our future direction through our filters so that we can make a decision based on what's right for us and not necessarily what the world says. And we've come to a point now where it's almost too dangerous to start to just listen to what someone says and consider that fact or truth. That we have to start to look into things for ourselves and start to filter them through our own discernment screens and filters, if you will, so that we know that we're making a decision for us and not because Joe Schmo said so. So, how to be discerning. I have, I think, 4 or 5 different tips for you. I'm sure the title will tell you because I'll have to count them after I'm done. But I wanted to start with trying things on. Tip number 1 would be trying things on. So sit in the place where you have made the decision or accepted a piece of information as true and see how does it feel. So if you're contemplating a health procedure, you're considering a new job or pursuing your life purpose, you're buying a new house or moving to a new location, or it's just a simple piece of information that you have to determine whether or not it's true. Sit in that and see how does it feel. So if you're going to consider moving to a new house, imagine that you're driving there, you're unpacking your stuff, you're arranging your stuff how you want it arranged in that house. You're waking up in the morning there, you're going to sleep at night. How does that feel? And notice your body. Do you feel tension in your throat? Do you feel strain in your forehead? Do you feel an emptiness in your heart? Or do you feel a lightness, a bubbling up of energy? Do you feel joy? Do you feel free? Do you feel light is usually the best way to put that. And that will be your indication if that is right or wrong for you. And then also do the same for the opposite. Not moving into that house, not taking that job, not pursuing your life purpose, not having that medical procedure, not accepting that piece of information as truth. Sit in that place and again see how does that feel, and really take the time to sit in it, kind of stew in it for a little bit, and that's gonna really help to evoke the body's response, and that will be an indicator. Remember, we talk about how the mind is always the last to know. The body has a lot of wisdom for us, so if we can try that on, we can leverage the body's intelligence to help us make that decision. Another tip, or tip number 2, I would say, is notice when something feels forced, either by you or by someone else. If you're looking for guidance in meditation and you're asking, should I have this medical procedure, or should I pursue my life's purpose, or is my life purpose this XYZ, or should I move into this house, and then you feel that it is your ego or your mind or your wants and desires that are bringing the answer. Now, keep in mind that your mind, its job is to answer questions for you, and that's okay. Your mind's doing its job. Let it kind of get it out. It's going to want to kind of vomit all the answers all over you. Let it do that, and then come back to a place of stillness and quiet, because the answer will come to you from somewhere else, not from your mind. You won't create it. When you create the response, you know that that's not necessarily the highest form of divine guidance. You want the answer to come to you without your creating it, without your pushing it, without your wanting it. Wanting and desire is actually a form of resistance, so that would suggest that you're pushing away the true response. And it could be that what you want is the same as the divine guidance, but there's no way to know if you're in the way and the mind is chatting. So really take the time to wait until you can get to that place of true stillness and silence, and you hear something come to you from the outside. An important point to note is that God, source, the universe is love, that it will speak to you in loving, compassionate, kind, gentle, soft ways. Anything that creates fear, worry, anxiety, that is not divine guidance. That is not God's source. That is not love. We want to be very careful and understand, and it's okay, because when it comes, you can go, oh, thanks, I know that that's not for me. Boom, I'm done with you. We're going to move on. We're going to continue to wait for true guidance. So those would be definitely my top two pieces of information as it relates to discernment. Tip number 3 is just pay attention to how it feels, and it's not necessarily an emotion. That's my diffuser. I'm not smoking, don't worry. The information will feel right, whether it's the move, the job, the medical procedure, the information coming from the outside world. It will feel right or it will feel wrong. And if you're not certain, if you kind of have this, I'm not so sure feeling, that means you don't have all the information. And if you kind of have that sense of, I don't have all the information, then just wait. Sit in it. Don't make a decision. You don't have to do anything with it. Sometimes things can be time sensitive, like a house or a job. And in those cases, if you're not absolutely certain, then don't do anything. And I know that's tough. That's really difficult advice. That's why you're the hero and I'm just the guide, because it's easier for Yoda to tell Luke Skywalker what to do in training. Yoda's not out there doing it, and I get that. So sometimes we need that guide, and that's why I'm here for you. But I understand when I say something that it's easier said than done. So just know that I don't take that for granted. Tip number 4, I would say, is consider the context of how something came to you. Again, if it feels forced, do you feel like somebody's shoving it down your throat? Do you feel like it's being pushed on you, or there's a level of intensity around this, like you have to believe, you have to listen, you have to act, you have to move, you have to, right? Have to and should, major red flags. So understand the context of how it comes to you, what's behind the story. Again, if there's uncertainty, just take the time to find more information. The missing holes in the story will be filled over time. It just really takes the patience to get to that place. Asking yourself, is this true for me, with a healthy dose of honesty, because there's a lot of this, is this true for me, going around when we want to believe a candy bar is good for us, but we know it's not, and we should pick the apple. Right? Like, we need to be careful and say, is this true for me? Is the job right for me? Is the house right for me? Is this medical procedure the right way to go about what I'm considering doing or what I need to do? Is this piece of information, I'm being told I should or shouldn't do this thing, is that true for me? With the filter of knowing that some core truths will always be true, whether or not it's for you or not. So I know that's a tough one, and I'll talk to that some other day. So yeah, I think 4 is probably enough. 5, I would say pray. Pray, meditate, ask for guidance, and make sure that you've called in all of your highest available divine guidance to show you the right path. And if you take the time, you'll hear. And if you listen to what I suggest about it coming from the outside and not your mind creating the answer, you'll be okay. And just know that you're always right where you need to be to learn what you need to learn. There is no screwing this up. We'll all ascend and get it right someday. So that is all I have for you. I know I like to mention life purpose. That is really my ultimate goal, is to help everyone live in their divine purpose and to activate their inner genius. So if you're interested in doing that, I have a free meditation linked below. Help get everybody on the path. Imagine what a beautiful world it would be if we all had our needs met and we were living a beautiful, joy-filled life. So go out and get your big, juicy life. I'm here to help if you need me. I love you guys. So much love. Namaste.